Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing? I am on my way home from dropping Tanya Jean off and going to the meeting. It is so beautiful outside. It is 66 degrees. It is so nice. We went to the meeting tonight, had a fantastic meeting. And then I took Tanya to go get a fountain pop. I got a fountain pop. I got a Diet Pepsi. And now I am on my way home because my vlog took all day long to get done. And it is so beautiful outside today. And so when I left, it still was processing at 95%. So I apologize for my vlog being up late yesterday. Right now it's like 10, so I'll be putting it up as soon as I get home. And got to get that done. And then my Peterisms for today is still not up because it was finally finishing getting rendered or uploaded when I was leaving. And I got to Tanya's and I thought that my Peter Monn video was ready to be published and it wasn't ready. So like I have to go home and re-upload it. I don't know if I'm going to upload it tonight because it won't get up till like 11 Eastern Standard Time, or which I guess would be like 8 Pacific Standard Time, or if I should just save it till tomorrow. It's about Lori Loughlin. It has just not been my greatest video today, let me just tell you. I got up actually kind of early today. I was up by like 10:30. I had to meet with somebody, like a sober thing at 11. And then after that, I went to Ruth's Cafe, and I asked Tanya if she wanted to go get lunch, but she had a bunch of stuff that she was doing today. So I just went there and ate by myself. I had a grilled cheese and tomato soup and coffee. It was delicious. And then after that, I went home, and I was kind of like tired. And so, so I took a nap with the dogs, and it was nice. And I lay down and I slept with them. I mean, part of the reason why I didn't get my video stuff done was because I slept till like 5 o'clock, it just was really a great day to take a nap. It was just beautiful outside, and it just, I don't know, it was just nice. And I just was so relaxed and so peaceful all day. PP has been coughing a lot today. I don't know if, like, allergy season in Indianapolis is really bad right now, so I don't know if maybe that's, like, making his cough worse or not. It doesn't seem any worse than it was 6 months ago. It just is like every day he coughs a couple times. But it still is like the same duration, like, you know, just a couple seconds, and then he's back to normal and being fine. But so I did all that, and then while my videos were uploading, I was trying to get them done before I left. I went and took a shower, and then I took a shower, and then I am like peeling so bad from my trip. So I lotioned up, and then I came downstairs and I was trying to get my videos done to get out the door to pick Tanya up in time, which I was right on time picking her up. But my videos, I was like, I want to be on time. I don't want to, my videos can get up later. So yeah, I might save the videos for tomorrow, honestly, and just upload them tomorrow. I don't know. And then I'll have my Peterisms video. Well, not my vlog, obviously. I'll upload my vlog tonight. But then I'll have my Peterisms video for tomorrow, and I'll have my Peter Monn video for tomorrow. If I want to post 2 Peter Monn videos tomorrow, I can do that. I don't know. I might do that. I haven't decided yet. We'll see. I mean, it depends kind of on how long it takes me to get uploaded and stuff once I get home. It's been a good day. I've been listening to Columbine like crazy. I'm like 5 hours into it. Tanya said to me tonight, she was like, I feel like you have talked more about this book than you've talked about any other book that you've read this year. And I said, really? She goes, yeah. And I said, I'm just like, I don't know. It's just, some of the facts are just like, I just didn't know some of the things. Like, these two people that were like the two first kids that were shot, like they literally laid outside for like 2 days straight, almost 29 hours, I think. This one kid laid out there, and his dad even came to like the perimeter of the school. The kids were inside the school. They wouldn't release them to the families, like the bodies and stuff, because they were evidence. But also because the one kid, they told his dad, it's so sad. And they go in and they kind of tell the background stories of like the parents and the kids' relationships and stuff. It's just really sad. And there was this point when Dylan Clayball's parents, like, so they get a search warrant for their house and for the Harris's house. And so then they have to leave their homes. And so the attorney says to Dylan Clayball's parents, Dylan isn't around anymore for people to hate, so people are probably going to hate you. And then it goes into this whole thing about, speculatively, about them being held accountable for what happened. And I'm like sitting there listening to this, and I'm like, how are the parents going to be legally held responsible for what happened? Like, I don't really get that, but I have a feeling they're going to get into that in the book a little bit more. So I don't know. But I'm going to listen to it tonight. I'm going to stay up later tonight and listen to it, because tomorrow I don't have anything to get up for. Thursday, I have to get up for a hair appointment. And Friday, I have a sober thing that I have to get up for. So, yeah. Tanya and I were singing country music, and now it's stuck in my head. But I'm not singing it anymore because one of my vlogs got demonetized, and my vlogs never get demonetized. And I don't make any money on these vlogs anyway, but what I do make might pay for a couple tanks of gas. And I'm like, I'm not singing any songs on this video anymore to chance that. But I don't think that's actually why, because I don't think I sang that night. It was just a couple nights ago. Anyway, if you noticed a video that didn't have any ads in it, now you know why. People complain I put too many ads in these videos anyway, so there, you got a free one. I'm hungry. Part of the problem with me eating earlier is that I get really, really hungry. I talked to Alex today. I do think I'm going to do the Optavia thing. I think I'm going to at least try it for a month. And, I mean, it worked for him. I mean, he has, like, so many friends of his that have done it, that lost, like, and their husbands, that have lost, like, huge amounts of weight, that I'm like, why am I not doing it? Just because I don't want to invest the money, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take the money, invest it in it, and I'm going to do Optavia for a month. So I'm going to do Optavia for a month, minimum, and try it. And I'll share with you guys on here, like, what I find from it, and, like, you know, what I think and stuff like that. I'm not going to do weight loss journey videos on my channels. I mean, down the road, if it became something huge for me, I think I would do that, but I'm not going to commit any videos to that at this point. I'll probably just on here. So if you're wanting to follow it, on here and probably on my Instagram stories is where I'll be talking about it. So yeah, I'm going to order it tonight or tomorrow, probably tomorrow, and then hopefully get it within like a week. I'm trying to think of how long it took him when he would order his to come, usually about a week. So then I can start it as soon as it comes. And I know it would be really good of me to start, like, eating healthy before then, but I'm not going to. So, sorry. I'm just not. That was a long silence, wasn't it? My friend tonight told me to read a book called Baby Teeth. Have you guys heard of this book? I said, is it a thriller? And she said, it's just really freaky. She said, but it's so good. She said, you'll love it. I haven't, so I don't know anything about it. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. Let me know. But I'm going to check it out on Audible. I actually have an Audible credit, and I'm like, my Audible credits should be, I think I get them on like the 17th or the 20th or 21st or something like that. I get 2 credits a month, and I have 1 credit because I actually bought 3 extra credits because I had to buy Columbine, and then I had to buy something else. I can't remember. So I might get that. And she's also the same one that told me to get the Butterfly Garden. So I do want to get both of those books because she said that our reading interests are very similar. So I think I'll probably like them. I feel like I read an article about this Baby Teeth. I don't know why I feel that way, but anyway, such a beautiful evening. We're supposed to have like our weather today. It was like high of 76 today, and then tomorrow I think it's supposed to be like that. And then it's supposed to get cooler the rest of the week. I'm like, oh, can't we just stay in the 70s? Do you hate that when it's like so nice outside and then it starts getting cold? I'm ready to get the patio like going. Like I'm so excited to get the patio just like going, and like I'm motivated right now to do it. So I'm like, I wish it was like so nice outside that right now, like if it was gonna be 70s for like the next month, but I don't want to do it and then like it not, you know, be nice, and like I have plants out there and stuff. So I think I'll probably wait till the end of April, beginning of May to get the patio done. A lot of people gave me suggestions for this stuff to spray on the cushions. Thank you. I'm gonna try that, and if that doesn't work, then I'll just lean the cushions up every night that it's supposed to rain. And I mean, we could get a tarp to go over it. I'm gonna go look at, what do you call it? Like Lowe's, because I can't imagine that like a tarp like that would be that expensive. You know, we should be able to find one that's not super, super expensive. They probably have their patio furniture at Home Depot and Menards and those kinds of places. I also need to get an oil change, so I may do that tomorrow. I have a lot of stuff I want to do tomorrow. Didn't I just say I have nothing to do tomorrow? I mean, like, I have like nothing serious to do, but then I have all these other things that I want to do, you know? I love nights like this. I sat outside today and just let the dogs like wander around forever. They loved it. And then Pee-Pee went upstairs, and the sun was coming down from our skylight. Is that what it's called? I can always forget what it's called. And he was like sitting in the doorway because, like standing in the doorway because the sun was coming in. I think I said something about this the other day because it was the same place almost. And it was almost hitting like right in front of the door. So I brought the shower rug, or whatever you call that, bath mat. I brought it over in front of the door so he could lay down. He didn't have to lay down on the tile. So I brought it over so that he could lay down in front of the, he sat down in the sun, and I took a picture of him, and then I sent it to Alex. Mrs. Birdie hasn't had her babies yet. I'm getting a little worried because I'm like hearing all this chirping in the neighborhood, you know, from like babies being, like the little birds being born. She literally sits on it all the time, and I'm like, I hope that there's not something wrong with her babies. Am I being crazy? I'm probably being crazy. This is where Alex says, I don't want you to be attached, and I'm totally attached, right? I'm attached to Mrs. Birdie, the life of Mrs. Birdie. Okay, I'm gonna go home and deal with the vlog and the other video, and then I'm gonna come back out. And I don't know if Alex went out to dinner with Sarah tonight, so I don't know if he's home yet. He texted me and said they were just hanging out on the couch. So when I'll come back in a little bit and vlog a little bit more. Bye. Okay, I'm back. Did you miss me? I went home and put up my vlog. And then I just decided to post all the videos tonight. I was like, I can just film videos again tomorrow. Or if I wake up tomorrow and I don't feel like it, then I'll just take a day off and relax. But I have some videos that I want to make tomorrow, so I gotta remember this one thing that I want to review that I saw an ad for. So anyway, what was I gonna say? So I put up my vlog, I put up my Peterisms video, and then I finally got my Lori Loughlin video up for my Peter Monn channel. I was going to wait till tomorrow to post it, but I thought, you know what, I'm just going to put it up now. I can put up another video tomorrow, like I just said. So anyway, and then while I was waiting for that to upload, Alex was on his way home from Sarah's, so I sat there and watched, I don't even know what that show is called. It's with, oh, what's his name? Charlie, why can't I think of his name? Denise Richards' ex-husband, why can't I think of his name? And Charlie Sheen and John Cryer, was it like 3 Men and a Baby or whatever that show's called? I don't know what that show's called, but anyway, 2 Men and a Baby. I watched that, I don't know why. I watched Family Feud a little bit. I ate the rest of my hummus and cheese, and I ate the rest of my Twix egg. Yeah, and that was that. So, Alex came home and he was so tired he just wanted to go to bed. So I'll just do the Optavia thing tomorrow with him when he gets home from work. We can sit down and he can explain it to me and all of that. So I just was so relaxed. It's so nice out tonight. I took the dogs outside and stood outside with them for a long time and let them run around the yard. It was so funny. Somebody said, I don't know who said it, I was reading all the comments before I left on the vlog, and somebody said that they have a bird on their back patio and that it's flown inside the house and that it was like really hard getting it out. Okay, that's like my fear, is that Mrs. Birdie is going to fly inside the house and we're never going to get her out, because the carriage lamp is literally like 2 feet from our door, maybe not even 2 feet. So like when I walk outside, like typically during the day she's not on it, or if I open the door even slowly, she flies away. She literally goes to the tree across the street, and then she like squawks until like we leave and she can come back over there, and then I'll look out the window and she's sitting back on the nest again. But like at night, she just sits on it all night long. And so like I'll take the dogs out and I open the door just like literally enough for the dogs to get out, and then I kind of squeeze through and go around, and I'm just like, it's just us, Mrs. Birdie, we're gonna be, you'll be fine. And I just walk really slow by there, and she just she's all like sunk into the nest. Alex was telling me that a friend of his was telling him that she has basically the same thing going on at her house, and Alex is like, ugh, like Peter has this bird on the front porch, and he calls Miss, I don't have her on the front porch, okay, that's where she built her nest. And Alex is like, and Peter calls her Mrs. Birdie, and he's like, we can't even turn the carriage light on. I mean, we've had no lights in our front of our house. I mean, the garage has lights on them, but like we've had no lights, like, you know, like right on the front of our house. We turn there's a light over in the kitchen, like over the sink, and we've been leaving that on. But he's like, you know, Peter won't even let me turn on the light, blah, 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 whatever. And she goes, that's because he's a good man. Alex was laughing. And apparently it's like a mother-father bird or whatever that's coming to her house, and so she's named them like Petunia, and I can't remember, Bernie and Petunia or something like that. He was telling me about it. It's funny. I'd like to sit around this weekend and kind of maybe just read a little bit. I'm 4 hours and 21 minutes into this book, so I still have about 10 hours left, a little under 10 hours left of this book. But the last 2 days I've listened to a lot of it. I just don't like to speed through it because there's so many details. They literally cataloged like every little piece of evidence. I can't even imagine what that like investigation would look like. Now they went back and they're talking about like what they were like as kids, Eric and Dylan. I'm like only at the Eric part right now, but I was going to listen to the Sue Klebold book, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I think by the time I'm done with this, I'm going to be kind of like, well, I want to watch some more of the interviews and stuff like that by different people that were involved, but I think that once this is done, like I'll be ready to have the book discussion and maybe like read something else. My mind is very consumed by all of it. It was interesting because, you know, I had said on my vlog last night that I got a really weird feeling when I was driving by North Central High School, and I was reading on Twitter tonight, I think the Psychic Twins retweeted it. So if you want to see it, I think it's, and their thing is the Jameson Twins on Twitter. But this woman in Colorado who's like 18, apparently she's like real obsessed with this case, and like the Columbine case, and she made threats towards like Columbine High School and some other schools. Did you guys hear about this? I don't know if this was like on mainstream news or not, but they like retweeted the article. And this was from like the 6th, this was from today. And they can't locate her. And she's made some pretty serious like threats. And apparently like the school was on lockdown or something. Like, I don't know. But I'm telling you right now, like I would be terrified if I was in a school and that happened. I don't know. Like I just, makes me so sad. It's like, what world do we live in? I just don't get it. I just really don't get it. Do you ever use something so much that you get kind of sick of it? So I've like been using this Kiehl's like for so long now. I mean, I love it. It's better. They sent this to me. Butter mask for lips. I wanted to try it, and I went in the store, and it was basically just like the lip balm in a tube. So I didn't get it. But there's these two people that help me when I go in there. This guy and this girl, they're really nice. Really, the girl is the one that I become kind of friends with when I go into Kiehl's. Back in the day, I have a friend of mine, and he is like literally flawless skin. Okay, I mean, I have like 20 years ago, he was like obsessed with skincare and stuff, like long before like a lot of guys were like really like that guys were kind of focused on skincare. I mean, would you say 20 years ago, a lot of guys? I don't remember. I mean, I remember my mother always, you know, but like, and everybody and her friends talking about skincare and all that kind of stuff. But I don't remember a lot of men kind of being obsessed with it. But my friend, he was one of the first guys I ever knew that was kind of obsessed with skincare. And he was really into Kiehl's and Origins. Those were like his two favorite brands I remember. And I just started using Kiehl's like last year sometime. And so I saved my receipts for everything, and when I was like looking through my receipts for Kiehl's, I was like I spent quite a bit of money at Kiehl's last year. But I love their products. I really, really do. They're just kind of not as exciting as like Lush products, and like if you go to Sephora and stuff like that, they're just not as exciting. But I think they're really high quality products. They're expensive though, but I will say you get a lot of use. Like the face wash that I bought, it's like an apricot face wash for men. Like I still have some of it left, and I used to use it on a regular basis. I don't use it as much anymore because she sent me this box. I think I may have shown it in my vlog. She sent me like a box of all this kind of stuff, and that was one of the things that she sent me. And oh my god, she sent me this bar of soap for men. It's like cedar or something. I need to go in there and see how much it is because I need to buy some more of them. It was fantastic. It's like one of my favorite products, beauty products I've ever bought. So if you're looking for a product for like your husband or dad or brother, or if you're a man, I mean, I guess women could use it too, depending on if you like the smell. It's just a very masculine smell. It's like a cedar smell. My guess is that they have more than one smell, but it has like kind of like bits of like, you know when soap is kind of grainy sometimes? It's kind of like that. I really, really like this soap. I don't know what I was just doing, what that looked like, but that was me like washing my skin with the soap. I know, but that's what I was really doing. So anyway, I just think it's kind of fun to use all those products, you know? Since I've been back, I have not been doing the hydrating face masks. I haven't been using the cup of coffee face masks in the morning. I need to get back into doing that again, because to be honest, I can tell a difference in my skin that I'm not doing those things. And I didn't use the hydrating face masks as much as I should have while I was on vacation. I just didn't. In fact, Alex brought a couple of those masks that you like lay over your skin, and he used them more than I did. I can't really use those because of my beard, but I will say that somebody said, if you guys know who this is, will you let me know? There's like a beauty Instagrammer or like a YouTuber guy that has a beard, and he cuts them so that they'll fit his face. Do you guys know who that is? If you know who it is, will you leave it in the comment section below so that I can look him up? Because I'd like to find out who that is and see how he does it exactly. Because I have been sent so many of those face masks, and I have bought so many of those face masks. I mean, I bet I have like 30 masks that you put over your face. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like the kind that you like lay over your face. But with my beard, they will not stay on my face, like whatsoever. My beard is really long right now. I need to trim it. You can tell because it starts going out like this, kind of. I'll trim it tomorrow. It's so pretty out tonight. It's very clear. You can see the stars up there. Yeah, I had a good lunch, but I ate crap for dinner, so that's okay. I have my leftovers from Patashu too. And Alex has his leftovers from Cheesecake Factory in the fridge. And he came home and he was like, I'm kind of hungry. And I go, well, and I bought him, he wanted me to buy him pizza rolls the other day. So I bought him pizza rolls, and they're in the fridge. And I was like, well, you have, you know, like he knows he has those in there. And I was like, well, you have that spaghetti from last night? He's like, no, I'm saving that to take to work. I go, okay. My husband is like literally the leftover king. Like, I mean, everywhere we go, like he hardly ever eats his whole meal, and he'll take leftovers, especially if it's like pizza. If we go somewhere for pizza, he will get like a whole large cheese pizza to himself, and then he'll eat like a third of it, and then he'll bring the rest of it home. And he'll either eat it at home like on a Saturday. He'll leave it in there for like a whole week and then heat it up on a Saturday or Sunday with marinara sauce and dip it in there. Or he'll like take it to work, but very rarely does he take pizza to work. But his leftovers, like throughout the week, he loves to do that. Like depending on where we go, like he'll like pasta and stuff like that. He loves to take his leftovers. He's even like taking burritos and stuff. I don't think burritos are real great to heat up, but he doesn't really care. We're not high quality eaters in our house. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, we like a nice meal, but I was telling Tanya tonight, like, you know, doing like this Optavia or anything like that, like part of the struggle for me is that like I don't want to invest that much money like up front. I'm going to do this. I'm doing it. So I'm not talking myself out of it. I am doing it. But part of the problem in the past has been like, I don't want to put that much money into my food up front, right? Okay, but we went to brunch on Sunday, which was very expensive, and we went to Cheesecake Factory last night, which was very expensive. I mean, it wasn't a $200 dinner, but I mean, it was expensive. Brunch is expensive, 40, 50 bucks, 50 bucks. You know, Cheesecake Factory, 50 bucks. that's like a third of what I'm going to be spending to do Optavia. And I was like, and you won't be going out to dinner, so basically you'll be saving money, you know? But Alex did say that, like, one of the things that they suggest is that, like, after the first month, you do, like, try to go out to eat every once in a while, because it's really about a management program. There's, like, a book you have to get, but he was like, you don't have to get the book because I have the book. So it's, like, a book that, like, teaches you, like, healthier eating habits and, you know, like, how to make better choices and things like that. So it's not just, like, this quick fad diet. I think there are some other YouTubers that have done it, too. I can't say that I'm not nervous about it, but I have to say that I'm kind of excited about it too, because I am. I'm just ready to do something, you know, like, I want to enjoy this summer, and if I start it now, then it'd be like the middle of April to the middle of May till middle of June, and Alex said, you know, if you get 2 months going, then by the end of this, you know, towards the, like, 6 to 8 weeks is when you start transitioning to using just, like, regular food, and then those are, like, supplements in between for other meals. So I would like to get to the point where then I am eating, and you can do Optavia as a vegetarian, by the way, just in case anybody wants to know. I'm going to be doing it as a vegetarian. But then I'll be at the point where, you know, I can, like, eat salads or granola for breakfast, or, you know what I mean? Like, vegetables and fruit for lunch and healthy things. Like, and that's really where I want to get to. So I'm thinking, like, this will motivate me to get to that point, because like, somebody said, like, maybe I should focus on just getting healthy first and then losing weight, which I totally understand. But, like, and I'm not saying that I disagree with that statement, but, like, I have to be honest, like, one of my main motivations is losing some weight. Like, I want to lose weight. I'm tired of being heavy. On top of me not being able to fit into the clothes I want to, which is, like, one of the things. One of the other things is, you know, like, for me to be able to effectively get healthy and lose weight, I have to be completely honest with myself and those that I'm working with about what my goals are and why they're goals. So yes, I want to lose weight because I want to look better. But it's also uncomfortable as hell, okay? If you're heavy, you know it's uncomfortable. Seat belts don't fit, okay? Your belt is too tight or too loose. Underwear doesn't fit, which is why I don't wear any. You know, I mean, it's like, t-shirts are either too tight or too thin. Tanya and I were talking about that tonight. It's like, you know, like, they're either too tight on my gut or they're way too baggy. Shirts are either, like, way too baggy or too tight. Like, I'm tired of dealing with that. I'm tired of being uncomfortable in everything that I wear, you know? So then I end up just wearing jeans and a t-shirt every single day, which there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I think, you know, it looks cute most days and stuff. But, like, I'd like to kind of enjoy some of my clothes. I'd like to be excited. You know, it's hard when I see Alex go and buy all this stuff, and he looks cute in it, and he gets on ASOS, and he buys these clothes, which, quite frankly, most of the clothes that my husband buys, like, some of these clothes that he took to, like, Miami and Mexico, he had a silk shirt that was, like, striped, buttoned up. I mean, it's, like, the same price as what I would pay for a polo at Target, right? But I just can't fit into something like that and look good. I don't know, and I just, you know, the older I get, my health is going to lead to things like, you know, heart problems, diabetes, things like that. The fact that I haven't had those problems yet, I mean, is a miracle. So it's time for me to get into shape. Like, it's time that I do it. I've been talking about it for 2 years, over 2 years on this vlog, you know? It's time. So I'm excited about it. We'll see. Plus, I'm excited about doing the Optavia thing because when Alex, like, lost the weight on it, so many of you asked, you know, like, what he did and did it work and all this kind of stuff. So I'm really excited about doing it and then giving you guys my honest opinion about what I think about it. You know what I mean? Like, if it's easy, if it's not easy, if it's worth the price, things like that. Like, I'm really excited to do that. And no, I'm not being sponsored by it, so it's going to be 100%, you know, me doing it on my own and giving my honest opinion about it, which I'm excited about. My finger is itching, I don't know why. Do you ever, like, just have, like, a random itch? right here. My friend last week had a splinter in his finger, and he kept on like, and I was like, what's going on? He was like, I have a splinter, and it went into like the side of his finger, and I was like, oh my God. And I haven't had a splinter, I shouldn't say this, and I'll turn around and get a splinter, but I haven't had a splinter in forever. Our neighbors were having some kind of little, like, get-together on their patio tonight. Laura, if you guys have watched my videos. And they were out there laughing and talking, and, like, this guy that, like, is, like, one of her new roommates now, like, he plays guitar, and so he was, like, out there, and he's so friendly, and, it was really fun to how, like, I was sitting there watching TV waiting for Alex to get home, and I could hear them out there, and, like, just kind of, like, muffled sounds, you know, but it just, like, was so, I was like, oh, summer. The sounds of summer. People in the backyard, you know. It's funny, in our neighborhood, like, not, like, the specific neighborhood that I live in, but the outlying neighborhood, because there's a lot of families, there's always, like, random fireworks going off. The people are, you know, so you hear that. Pew! You hear like that sound just like randomly in the evening, you know. Pew! Dogs barking and sounds of summer. It's gonna be a great summer, I think. All right, listen, I'm gonna listen to a little bit more of my audiobook, and then I will, I'm gonna do this in kind of phases tonight, so I'll be back in a little while, and I'll see you guys then. Bye! Okay, I'm back. Did you miss me? You missed me, didn't you? Don't lie. I've been listening to a little Violent Femmes. I was listening to my audiobook, and then I was like, okay, I have to take a little bit of a break. I've got to listen to some music for a little bit. And I turned my iPod on, and Added Up by the Violent Femmes came on. I was like a huge Violent Femmes fan in high school. Yep, I was. I don't really know what to talk about. That doesn't ever happen to me. I'm kind of just like letting my mind go to figure out what I want to talk about. I used to do like stream of consciousness journaling. My mom really believed in it a lot. Where you would just sit down and like just journal and like with, you know, no purpose. And you could even just like throw it away at the end if you wanted to. She like really, really believed in it. She thought it was really healthy for your soul to just kind of like purge whatever was in your mind, you know? And then later I remember doing, I didn't finish it, but I did this like workbook. I can't remember who it's by. Maybe Julia Cameron? Or is she the one that wrote Drawing from the Left Side of the Brain? I can't remember, but they had this assignment that you did these morning pages. If somebody has done it, will you let me know in the comment section below? Oh, the battery is about to die. I cannot believe it. I think I have another battery with me. I know I have another battery charged, so I hope I brought it. Please tell me I brought my battery. If I didn't, oh, I did. I did bring my battery. So I'm gonna keep on talking until it dies, and then I'll pull off the interstate and change the battery. But if anybody knows what that book is, where you do morning pages every morning, which means you just write like, you were supposed to write like 3 pages in a notebook, and then you weren't even supposed to keep them. You were supposed to like tear them out and throw them away or burn them or something. And it was just supposed to like help you like purge whatever was like going on in your mind. And I did that for a while, and like I remember it really helped. Does anybody have any idea what I'm talking about? Like, it's a workbook that you do. This shirt is like was so comfortable earlier tonight, but it is not so comfortable right now. I will say the one thing about this Columbine book is that you have to kind of like take some breaks. Like, it's not the kind of book that you can like read straight through. I mean, if anybody else has done that, like, I think that's great for you, but like for me, it's a lot. Like, and it's not just that it's a lot of information, which it is, it's really heavy. And you kind of like, to some degree, like you feel like you're present for it. Like, he does such a great job. The only other nonfiction book that I've read that's similar to this, and I only got 50 pages in, was Helter Skelter. Like at the beginning, when they explain like the maid walking up Celia Drive and all that, Celia Drive or whatever it's called, like it feels very similar. Like it almost kind of like a documentary style book, that you kind of feel like you're present for it. It's bizarre. And I'm sure that was his intention, that he wanted to like take you through what was going on, but it's a lot. I've gotten quite a few comments from people saying that they're reading it and they're excited about the live stream. That's great. I'm like really excited about it too. And oh my God, you know what? I didn't even think about this. Mel and I talked the other day, and we didn't even talk about what our May book is going to be. And I'm supposed to announce it on the 15th of every month. We have no idea. We haven't even discussed what our May book is going to be yet for the book club. Okay, so Mel, if you're watching this, which I know you are, can you remind me and call me? I'm available all day Wednesday and Thursday. So call me and we will start figuring out what our book is going to be for May. I think we're just going to pick the May book is what we'll do this time. But I will tell you that May, June, July, and August, and probably September, are going to all be serial killer books. But it is interesting, like, having read what we read, like, In Cold Blood, it weirdly, I don't know why, but the two killers... Okay, I'm back. Did you miss me? I'm just gonna take the little country road, because I like taking this country road. It's been like 5 minutes. What was I talking about? That little laugh reminded me of my mom. I don't know why. She used to do that. I was thinking of my mom earlier today. I remember my mom and I've talked about this on here before, but like, my mom and I sometimes would read books together when I was like younger. Like we would like, you know how like now like people read like Harry Potter? Like we would pick a book and then we would read it together. And I remember reading A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith. And then we also watched the movie. I don't really remember much about it at all. I do remember seeing the movie. And I remember like her mom, or like something about the book, and like her mom would take people's laundry in. But she would make, ooh, there's like wood all over the road or something. But she would like make coffee, and she put like a teaspoon of vanilla or something in it. I can't remember. But I became like kind of like weirdly obsessed with having a percolator. No, I'm not going to sing the song. But it's time for the, do you know what time it is? It's time for the percolator. But I remember like my mom had this old percolator. And we would put like a tablespoon of vanilla in it. And we would make coffee. When I was younger, my mom, because I liked to drink coffee when I was younger, my mom would make decaf so that I could drink it. I started drinking coffee kind of young. I mean, not like super young, but I remember reading that book. I did like tea though when I was younger. Oh, you guys, you know what? I'm so stupid. I just did this the other day, do you remember? And I like had to turn around because the road is closed. And I think there's a car behind me wanting to go through this. They must, oh no, they went the other way. I have to go back to the interstate. Oh well. It's pretty out here, but I could not live out here. I would be scared. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. In Cold Blood. Okay, weirdly, there was something about the book today when I was listening to Columbine. Tanya is so tired of me hearing me talk about this book. There was something about it that, like, the shooters reminded me of the killers in Cold Blood. Like, kind of the way they played off each other. I don't know why I thought that. I think it's because they don't put a lot of responsibility on Dylan Klebold, like in the book. I don't know if that's like in reality either. I'm wearing my new Birkenstocks, and I'm breaking them in, and my feet are kind of sore. Can you guys see them? They're like, they're cute. They're, what do you call it? Camouflage. They're like gray, green, and like blue. Yeah, I was thinking of my mom today. She loved Easter so much. It's weird, like, you know, like in thinking about my mom and stuff, or my aunt and my uncle, like, strangely enough, like, I don't really get real emotional thinking about my aunt and uncle. Alex does, but, like, other than his grandfather, like, my aunt and uncle, and he was really close with my aunt, were, like, the first people that he really is close to that have passed away. He gets real upset talking about his grandpa, too, but especially my aunt, he really gets upset talking about her. Like, he starts getting real emotional. But I don't, for some reason. I don't know why. And not because I wasn't close to them, because I was extremely close to them, you know? I think, like, my uncle was just, like, he was so ready at the end, you know? He had just been sick for so long. I mean, he had been a heart patient for 24 years, you know? Like, he had his first heart attack 2 weeks before my cousin got married, and, which would have been in 95, because it was, like, right around the time that my mom got sober. And my mom's birthday was June 2nd. And I think Caroline got married, I don't know, like 2 or 3 weeks later. Because my mom was just sober like 2 or 3 weeks. And my uncle literally had, well, he would have had his heart attack before my mom got sober, because that had a lot to do with why my mom got sober. Because my mom was like, whether I live 10 more days or 10 more years, I want the quality of my life to improve. That's what she used to say. But, like, the grieving with my mom is weird sometimes. Like, you know, I believe that I'll probably grieve her for the rest of my life. But it's weird. My phone just shut off. That was so weird. Like, it said Columbine, like, across my thing, and then it just, oh, there, it just came back on.
Eric loved a good explosion, but treasured his...
That was so weird what just happened. Kind of freaked me out. Anyway, it's weird, you guys. Like, I'll tell you something that's weird. Stuff like that happens, like, if I'm talking about my mom or I'm thinking about my mom sometimes, like, very specifically, like, I don't believe that that's my mom, but I don't know, it's weird. Like, when I'm at the house, if I'm, like, thinking about, like, a specific memory or something, all of a sudden, sometimes, like, I'll hear a sound upstairs, or I'll hear a sound in the basement, and it kind of freaks me out. Like, sometimes I have to walk outside. But, like, I never know, like, when I'm gonna get emotional thinking about my mom. And, you know, what's weird is, it's typically not out of, like, sadness of loss. It really typically isn't. It's typically, like, on a Peterisms video, when I'm talking about my mom and I getting sober together, and that we had 13 years almost of sobriety together. You know, like, 12 years and 11 months or whatever. Like, that to me, like, not now, I'm not feeling it right now, but like, if I'm feeling emotional, it's usually out of joy. Like, when I cry today, I'm not saying that I don't cry out of sadness. I do cry out of sadness sometimes, you know, but I don't cry often. I would say I don't cry as often. I think because people watch my videos and they see me get emotional in videos, they probably think, like, I'm emotional all the time because you're watching, like, a 10-minute video on Peterisms or my vlog, and so you think, well, God, if he cries that much, then he probably cries all the time. I really don't. Like, I'm just really not that emotional all the time, unless I'm talking about something. And like, I was talking to Tanya after the meeting tonight, and I got a little emotional with her. We were talking about a friend of ours that had, you know, gone back out, and I got kind of emotional just for like a minute. And that was kind of a sadness thing. But by and large, today, when I get emotional, it's really out of joy. Like, on, you know, if you go watch the video of, like, me and Tanya, like, best friend answers questions about me or whatever it was called, you know, like, I get real emotional at the end of the video, but, like, I get really emotional out of, like, gratitude for our friendship, you know, that, like, you know, the truth is this, like, I met Tanya because of her dog kennel, but we wouldn't be friends had it not been for sobriety. I mean, that was, like, the commonality between us, that when I was sitting there talking to her the very first day, so if you don't know, like, if you haven't heard the story, so I had gone into Tanya's kennel one day, and, she and I were talking, and I was like, you look so familiar to me, like, I know you somehow. And she was like, yeah, you look familiar to me too, and we couldn't figure it out. Well, then I realized that she had sponsored some patients at the hospital, and I had seen her, like, come in and stuff. And so she said, where do you work? And I told her where I worked. She's like, oh my God. And she was like, you know, she was like, I sponsor girls that, you know, like, have been patients there. And I said, so you're sober? And she was like, yeah. And I said, oh, I am too. And so we started talking about, like, what meetings we go to and stuff like that. And then, she was like, and this was before I went to the home group that I go to now. And she was like, you should come with me some night to the home group. And I was like, oh, okay. And if you think my social anxiety is bad now, the way that I talk about it, let me just tell you what it was like 20 years ago, okay? 22 years ago. It was really bad. And, like, really bad. And she was like, what? And so anyway, when I was leaving that day, she was like, you should stop by sometime on your way home. I was talking about how I just didn't have a lot of friends. And she was like, she's like, yeah, I don't have tons of people that are sober either. I'd like to, you know, and this was before, like, she had her sponsor, but, like, we didn't have, like, a lot of, like, a group of people. Like, she didn't have a group of people, really, that she hung out with. And I definitely didn't. I didn't have anybody at that time, really. And I have to say, like, that was really, like, the thing that changed my sobriety was making good friends that were sober as well. And, I don't know, because it, like, all of a sudden my life kind of came, like, full circle. It wasn't just about meetings and working a program and staying sober. It was about, like, there was so much more to my life now because I had a social life that was involved with that as well. And that's called fellowship. So, but anyway, she was like, when I was leaving, she was like, you should stop by sometime and, you know, like hang out, and like I'm here all day long, and she was like, stop by and smoke a cigarette and we'll talk and hang out and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, okay. And I left, and I was like, I'll never stop by. Like, I mean, I really was like, I'm not gonna stop by. Like, that kind of stuff makes me nervous, just to walk in there and be like, hey, I just thought I'd stop by. Like, I feel so stupid with stuff like that I was like, I would never do that, right? Well, I don't know what happened, but like, so this was when I was with my first boyfriend, and he used to work 2 jobs. So he would work like during the day, and then he had another job that he did like room service for a hotel. And so he wouldn't get home till really late at night, and I literally was like at home by myself all night long. And I was going to like, at that time, probably, I don't know, 3 meetings a week in the evenings. So I was coming home from work one day, and and where Tanya lives and where the kennel is literally like 3 minutes from 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes from where my old apartment was. So I would literally pass the kennel like every day on my way home, and or like the street that it's on. And so I was driving home one day, and I was like, I had thought about it a lot, like stopping in there. And I was like, I would always be like, no, like, I don't want to be a burden to her. Like, I don't want to bother her. Like, yes, I know she said stop in here, but she probably didn't really mean it. You know what I mean? Like, and that is how I have always been with people. That is how I've always felt like I was a burden to somebody, that they didn't really mean that they wanted me around. I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine earlier about this, because she's going through something similar, and I was like, I used to be exactly like that. You know, I would always be like, oh, no, I don't want to bother somebody. I don't want to be a burden. And then I was always alone. I was always lonely and alone, because I wouldn't reach out. I wouldn't ask people to do stuff, you know, out of fear of them saying no. But really, it wasn't even about rejection. It was really about, I didn't want to be a burden. I didn't want to bother somebody. And I didn't want them to say yes because they felt like they had to. You know what I mean? So I just didn't ask. And I really would never do anything unless somebody asked me. And then most of the times I didn't go do that because, I don't know. You know, I had this realization today. Do you guys ever just like have realizations out of nowhere? Like, I was thinking about this today. Like, I have like several people right now that like want to get I mean, I should feel so blessed that I have people in my life that want to do stuff with me, right? But like, I have several people that like want to like get together and do stuff, and each of them, like, I want to see, like, I really do. Like, each of them, one of them I know, like, well, 2 of them watch this vlog, and both of them, like, I really want, one of them I really want to see, because I haven't seen her in 20 years, and I'm gonna be like, girl, I can't wait to see her. So, well, it's been longer than that since we've seen each other. But anyway, you know who you are. I cannot wait to see you. I'm, like, dying. So, anyway, and she's texted me today, too, so we're gonna get together soon. But, would y'all like to see a video of what Peter was like in high school? I might do that video. It might not be with her, but anyway, so I got a couple people that would probably be willing to do that video. But anyway, I know my one friend would, like, in a heartbeat do it. She'd be like, oh yeah, I have no problem sitting down on camera and letting everybody know what you were like in high school. You were shy, you were scared of your own shadow, you know, unless you were with us, and then you thought you were a badass. And aren't friends great for keeping it real? I mean, seriously, you know? But anyway, so I have like several people that like want to do stuff with me, but like, I'm busy. Like, even though I'm like I know it may not seem like I'm busy to other people, but like, there's things I do that I don't talk about on my vlog, you know? And so anyway, I got home today, and I was like, I gotta start planning some of these things because I want to see these people, right? And then I had this realization that I was like, you know, like, sometimes I really just kind of like being alone. I really do. Like, and I know that sounds bad, but like, I think I've gotten so used to like my days being by myself until Alex comes home in the evening that I'm kind of like weirdly protective of those evenings or those days. I don't know if that makes any sense at all. And the thing is like, when I go do stuff with people, like, I always have a great time, and I'm glad I did it, but it's so much work to get me there. Like, even if it's somebody that I know really well, it's like, it's just, you know, it takes a lot for me just to be like, you know, you want to go do something, or let's do this, or whatever. I don't know. I guess I just had a realization that I'm kind of a loner, which is weird, don't you think? I mean, especially for someone that has 5 YouTube channels. But anyway, and then what happens is, like, and just to make this is not about the person I was talking about, just so you don't borrow it, but, I think sometimes, like, people think I don't want to do stuff with them, and it's not that at all. I mean, it has nothing to do with that. You know, it's always just like, I don't know. I just didn't even realize till lately how much of a homebody I really am. You know, that I like to just, like, sit at home and make my coffee and have the movie on in the background, and, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, it's so weird. Like, I just feel so comfortable at home. So anyway, with Tanya. So I would, like, drive by. So anyway, I've driven by our, you know, kennel several times, a lot of times. And I would think to myself, I should drive by there. Or I should stop by there and just go in. But, like, my nervousness would, like, my, like, social anxiety would kick in. I'd be like, oh, no. I'll do it tomorrow. And, because I just didn't want to be a burden to her. I thought, well, she didn't really mean it, you know? And one day I was driving by, and I was like, I'm just going to go in there. And I went in, and, well, I didn't tell this funny story about the very first time that I ever walked in there. She was like, she just done yoga with some of the girls that worked in the kennel. And, she was doing these, like, she was standing behind the counter, and she was, like, doing these yoga poses, and I said to her, I was like, she was like, I don't know, something dog, and I go, what? And she goes, I'm just at yoga, and she was, like, doing these, like, what you see of Tanya is, like, who she's always been. Like, that's who she is. She's so comfortable in her own skin, and I think that's part of why I'm so attracted to her, you know? It's like, she really doesn't give a shit who somebody is. She does not, I mean, Tanya is so not impressed by people, their stature in life, or where they came from, or what, I mean, she does not care. She does not. People are people to her. Like, seriously. And I think that's one of the reasons why I was so attracted to her as a friend. I mean, she's just so absolutely genuine and authentic, you know? And, so she just was like, she had me laughing that first time. So anyway, I like went in there, and I like just walked in, and she was like, oh my God, how are you? And I was like, fine. And she was like, I was so nervous, and she was like, come back in my office and we'll hang out for a little bit. And so I did, and it was either like a Tuesday or it was close to a Tuesday, because she was like, you're gonna go to the meeting with me. And I was like, what? And she was like, you're gonna go to the meeting with me tonight. You're gonna come over to my house, and we're gonna go to the meeting. And I said, okay. And I don't know why I agreed to it. Like, it's so out of character for me, but I just did. And see, I'm gonna get emotional. I'm gonna get real emotional, because I always say this every year on our birthday, you know, like, or her sobriety birthday or my sobriety birthday. I always say this, you know, that, like, you know, when I got sober, I was promised all these things. I was promised that, you know, that family relationships would possibly be repaired, and that, you know, like, fear would go away, and I would, you know, cease fighting anyone and anything. And but I was never promised a best friend. I just wasn't. That wasn't, you know, like, I didn't get sober thinking that I would meet the greatest friend I've ever had in my entire life. You know, I wasn't promised that. And I just feel so blessed, you know, like, there are two comments on my vlog that like always really like hit home with me that you guys leave. I mean, it's not two specific comments, but today it was a specific comment, and I can't remember who said it, and I meant to remember your name, so I apologize. But somebody said, thank you for always saying at the end of your vlog, I love you. And the other one is when people say that they wish they had a friend like Tanya, or they wish they had a friendship like Tanya and I have. Everybody deserves to hear I love you. Period. And everybody deserves a friendship like we have. Everybody. And I don't take it for granted for 1 second. I feel so blessed to have that friendship, you know? And, it stopped. And, you know, the thing that's real interesting about my friendship with Tanya is, you know, I talk about, like, Alex and I, and that, like, marriage is hard. It's funny, I was talking to a sober friend of mine about this tonight after the meeting, that, like, marriage, you know, is tough, and, anybody that says that it's not true, like, what kind of, I don't know, but, like, marriage is hard, you know, stuff happens. Marriage isn't easy, but it's worth it. But, like, Tanya and I's friendship has been really so easy. It really, really has been easy. You know, like, it's just been easy. Like, it started easy. We didn't have to try. We are such polar opposites. You know, especially when we first got together. Like, spiritually, politically, everything. I mean, we were just so different. I mean, we were, like, here, you know? And now, like, I think because of, like, world events and things that we've lived through and things, like, I think we see the world so similarly compared to how we used to back in the day, if that makes sense. Or maybe we see it through a different set of eyes today, and our view of our point of view is similar. I think we see it with compassion and more understanding, even if we don't agree on things. I mean, to say that in 22 years of our friendship, 22 years, you guys, 22 years, like, that's crazy to me, right? 22 years of fountain cokes and driving around and vacations and seeing her, and, you know, like, on and on and on. Because we used to go in the summers and, like, rent a cabin with everybody that we were friends with, and on Lake Norris in Tennessee. And, you know, I think about that, and it's like, I mean, in reality, we've had, like, one big fight, and that was at the lake, and we talked about that on our video, and we had one small fight. In 22 years, two little, like, and neither one of them was really that big, you know? And, I just think about that, and I think, that's crazy, you know? It's been easy. It really has. And, you know, and it was weird. I remember when I read Many Lives, Many Masters, which is about past life regression, but I think it's Brian Weiss, who's a psychiatrist. But anyway, it's a fascinating book if you've never read it. But it said in there something, it talked about, like, we have, like, a soul group, and that, like, we kind of relive each life over to learn new things, but with the same souls. And so, like, in a past life, maybe, like, Tanya was my sister, or my brother, or, you know, my husband, or whatever. But we really play it out with the same souls just over and over again in different roles. And I can remember reading that book, and I thought, I wonder if that's why Tanya has always just felt so comfortable to me, you know? Like, in some weird way that, like, maybe I knew her in another life or something. I don't know. I don't know if I believe in that stuff or not. I don't know if I don't believe in it, you know? But I think for that reason, that's why you have to take some risks, you know? I think that's why you have to challenge yourself. If I had never walked back in there, you know, we wouldn't be friends. I would have missed out on the greatest friend I ever had in my entire life. I would have allowed my social anxiety, my fear, and this ridiculousness of me thinking I'm a burden on other people. You know, today, here's how I live my life. If I'm a burden, somebody needs to tell me. And if they tell me, then I'll back off. You know what I mean? But it's crazy, isn't it? All the gifts that I've been given, all the opportunities that I've had that are directly related to me being sober, that I would never have had I not gotten sober. I mean, and it's not things that you would think of, you know? It's not like, the majority of them are not things that you would think of. It's not just people that I met in sobriety. It's like people that aren't sober that I met, that I would never have met had I not been sober, you know? When I look at, like, where I was when I met Alex and who I was with, like, I wouldn't have been there, like, had I not, I wouldn't have seen him to, like, you know, look him up on MySpace, or when I found him on there, you know. If you don't know that, Alex and I found him on MySpace, and I sent him a message, and that's how the whole thing started. But I had seen him out, and I was with a friend of mine that was sober. I've just had so many opportunities that have, like, so many things have happened as a result of me being sober, you know? That they just never would have happened. So, yeah, I mean, in retrospect, the things that I lost versus the things I gained are incomparable. But at the time, I think I was so focused on what I was going to lose, you know, that, like, I wasn't going to be able to, like, drink when I went out anymore, and, like, how would I talk to people? And, you know, that wasn't fair. I was 22, and I only got to legally drink for a year, and what would I do, you know, on vacations, and, you know, Christmas, and summer, and, you know, sure, so I lost that, but, like, what I gained is just, it's crazy, you know? Like, I think about, like, this is where I take it sometimes. I know this is going to sound crazy, but, like, and I don't want this to minimize my love for my husband whatsoever, because you know, my husband is the love of my life, but, equally, so are my dogs. And I would never have met Pee-Pee, you know? I would never have had Boo and Tucker. Like, they're my life. My cousin and I wouldn't have the relationship that we have. My dad and my stepmom and I, we definitely wouldn't have the relationship that we have. We would have no relationship, because they were done. I don't think I would have been able to be present for my mom's illness. I don't think I would have been able to be emotionally present for the end of it. I would have probably made it all about me, and, you know, not been able to do things I needed to do. It just would have been a mess. My life would have been a mess, you know? My life was a mess. My life was an absolute mess. And it's interesting, too, like, when you think about it, because it's like, I mean, I get this today, you know, at 24 years sober, but so little of it was about the drinking and the drugging. I mean, yeah, that was, like, a symptom of my addiction, and that's how it, like, transpired physically. But my thinking was chaotic, you know? I thought that car was gonna pull out. My thinking was chaotic, you know? My behaviors were crazy. You know what I mean? Like, so it wasn't just the drinking and the drugging. It was so much more than that. You know, like I've noticed, like in the last 6 months, as I've like worked on myself and started to, you know, like finishing up the inventory process and, you know, like having made some amends and things like that. And there's a stillness within me. There's like a peace inside of me that I didn't have before, you know? That like, that wasn't just about that. I mean, that has nothing to do with the drinking and the drugging, you know? And I think like I had to get to the point in my life where I could look at, and this didn't just happen, I mean, this happened years ago, but where I could look at, okay, things happen in my life because they're lessons, and I have to be open to the lesson. But like, like I heard that, like I understood that statement, but then I didn't like grasp it, and I sure as hell didn't practice it right away, right? Like I just didn't. Like I knew that to be true, but like I didn't, like I was resistant to it, if that makes sense. Like I kind of pushed it away. But then I just got so hungry, I don't know why. But then over time, I realized that that's true, you know? And now, like, I'm almost kind of like weirdly thankful for some crap that's happened in my life, because it really allowed me to prioritize what's important to me. It also made me realize that maybe I was going down a road that I didn't want to be that person, you know? And it's really made me reflect. It's given me an opportunity for growth. And all of that is because of sobriety. I wouldn't think that way, you know? I'd be bitter, angry, and resentful and negative. I just wouldn't think that way, where, you know, I could be open to the growth, and I'm thankful for that, you know? I have a life beyond my wildest dreams. I'm so thankful for my life. I can't believe I said I didn't know what I was going to talk about, and now I've ended up going like another half an hour. I have no idea how long this vlog is going to be, you guys, because I don't remember how much I vlogged at the beginning and stuff. So I'm going to get off here now, because if not, it will be 2 hours long. I'll just ramble and ramble and ramble. You're like, oh, that's basically what you do every night, Peter. Anyway, I hope you guys are having an amazing day, unless you have other plans. What is tomorrow that you'll be watching this? Wednesday. I hope you guys are having an amazing Wednesday, unless you have other plans. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. And go say it to yourself in the mirror like I always say. All right, I'll see you guys later. I'll see you tomorrow. I love you. Bye.